What I think people need to focus on and to distinguish is we have to separate the good from the bad. So the definitions for tokenized assets would be very clear. What you do is you look through the tech wrapper, which is the token part, to the underlying asset. So if it's security, then the securities laws are going to apply. What we need to look at is to distinguish between commercial activity. And I don't think that financial regulation is a panacea for everything. So for commercial activity, we need to identify the appropriate legal and regulatory frameworks. There's some very exciting enterprise blockchain use cases involving supply chains, logistics. Here in Asia, there's a lot of focus on diversifying and making our supply chains more resilient. Blockchain can be an enabler for that.
Do you feel perhaps a frustration coming from the crypto industry? And is there any sort of urgency to get this done now before any crypto innovation or money flows out of the U.S. and flow into, I don't know, some of the other countries in Europe, Asia?
So what I see as one of the real blockers and challenges in the crypto sector or in the tokenized digital asset sector is that there needs to be more education, more talent, more development. So again, in thinking about where the U.S. is composed to like Asia, and where here in Singapore at the Singapore FinTech Festival, it's been 8 years of the MAS promoting learnings, exchanging ideas, really understanding the technology, and that's where I think the U.S. also needs to be equally focused on developing our workforce, and the regulators need to be ahead of this technology, not catching up to it. So that's why last month I was pleased to announce my initiative for practical skills workshops to ensure that our workforce has the training and development they need to stay ahead of emerging new technologies like tokenization and like AI. That's where the U.S., I think, needs to focus because we have tremendous talent, tremendous universities, research, all of these institutions. And in Asia, I just came from Vietnam, where they're very focused on developing a highly trained and skilled workforce in the labor market. I think those are the things that we need to be thinking about as one of the drivers for growth and innovation.
The interest is there, the talent is there, but do you think the political schedule, the U.S. election might sort of delay the whole thing, really take the attention away from this all? Like to get some clarity.
There's other people who are experts in this field. From my perspective, Congress makes the laws and we implement them.
And you were just talking about some of the examples in Asian region, Vietnam and Singapore you just mentioned. Which market, which country sort of inspires you in terms of, as a good benchmark for the U.S., really to clarify for the crypto industry?
Well, clearly Singapore was one of the leaders in developing a regulatory framework and in creating upskilling, training, talent development, working together with the private sector to ensure that the skills are there. I think Japan was an early leader, of course, in coming up with cryptocurrency regulation. I've been in South Korea. South Korea has been very active. I was just in Busan. Busan is positioning itself as a blockchain city for the future. So all across Asia, you see this focus on the technology and what it can be used for, and really not making the technology the bad thing, but understanding that bad people can use technology to do bad things, but it doesn't mean the technology is bad.
Yeah, I think that is really a similar conversation for AI. Let's make it good and beneficial and responsible. What's your key message for the Singapore FinTech Festival this year? Really quick.
So what I love about coming to the Singapore FinTech Festival is the level of discussion, the level of insights, the level of the exchange of ideas, the skills that are all concentrated in one place. This is a tremendous place for regulators like myself to be continuously learning, continuously improving our understanding. So I think you come here to learn and to be just have your mind blown by some of the most exciting new things that are happening.